Welcome to Champagne Sunday. I'm Lauren.
Hey, I'm Bonnie.
I'm Beth.
And we're going to talk about life
After divorce.
And living
The best life.
and the life you love.
Yes, living the life you love on that other side.
Cheers.
Cheers. Welcome. Okay, ladies, so this week, why don't we talk about not being a hero?
Okay.
What do you think?
What does that mean to you?
Yes, what does that mean to you?
I'm biting my lip because, I like to do everything. And I like to do everything well. And I push myself to be, I'm a recovering type A. But
So it's
I
okay,
still
Beth,
have
to not be a hero.
I know, but what I have found is, if I keep on this track of thinking that I have to do everything and I have to do it well and I have to keep all the balls in the air and I have to, it is a internal stressor that I'm putting on myself that doesn't have to be there. And I have to say, I am trying to embrace not doing everything and sometimes not even doing it well. Like, I give myself permission sometimes to be like, okay, I'm just gonna be average Joe today and just do my work, what's required, not going over the top. I'm just doing what's required so that I have a little more energy to do the things I really want to do.
And I think that's hard for overachievers, which I would say all of us are probably some level of that, in whether in our professional lives or personal lives or whatever. It's hard to say, okay, I'm gonna not phone it in, but I'm just gonna do what I can today, instead of I should be doing what I should be doing. Is that
Right? Yeah. Or
supposedly.
you having permission to allow yourself to stitch and watch TV and not feel guilt about it.
Yeah.
And my allowing myself to paint, not clean out a closet.
That's true.
And that sort of thing. It just, that, so I can.
Well, guess what? Nothing happened. And after I didn't vacuum my floors this week.
Really?
Nothing really bad happened. I can't believe it, but it's
The
true.
dust police did not come. They didn't come say anything.
Well, and this is funny because I think you get into such a routine in how you think about yourself, maybe in your former life, and then when the dust settles and you're in your new life, you have to rethink all those little things.
Yeah.
Like all of them. I don't have to be the super mom and the super employee and the super church person and the super community volunteer person. And guess what? This is the only life I have, and I'm going to start I have to start saying no to a lot of things. And that I had to guard my time. And
Well, and what's funny is that you're saying that you're not that super person because you've backed off, and yet your level of commitment to all of those things is still elevated, above the norm.
do you think so?
I really
think
do.
so.
No, I do.
There
And
are
I think it's fabulous.
There are days when I have to go, and I am super cognizant for being the best about being the best for my kid right now. I
Right.
really am. Figuring out when I have him, how we're going to spend our time, and But there are days that I'm wiped, or that it's it's been busy at work, and I just have to go. Okay, today we're probably just gonna watch TV, play on the iPad, and just be a little bit. And that's okay too. Or not spend money. Not spend money is another thing.
That's a big one.
Yeah. I have a friend who's kind of going through just some personal things, just some personal recovery. We had remember the episode we talked about reset? So I had one of my best friends who called me the next day just to talk about how she's feeling, and just didn't know what to do next. Not sure how to fix things. I said, okay, we just need a reset. That's what we need. It's okay. And I said, you're going to be fine. But I said to her, which is what we opened the episode with, don't be a hero. You don't need to be a hero at work right now or in your life. what you need to do is make sure that you're taking care of yourself.
Protect yourself.
Yeah, protecting yourself and doing the things you need to do to get better from this spot because you're not in a good spot. And if you can recognize that, like, I said to her, your best, your very best your worst is some people's absolute best. Like, you're that good at what you do. So you can't expect, I think it's always important to give your best effort, but if you're going through a moment or going through a time when when you're not there, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
When you're not fully there, when your best effort can't be accessed because you don't have a best effort to give because you're just barely there.
Because you're devastated, because you're emotional, you're having to
you're gonna have to phone it in a little bit and get through it so that you can get to the other side of it personally, and then the rest of it comes. So I don't know, I think that's an important thing it took me a long time to figure that out. And when the year I was going through my divorce, my department chair, and I may have said this on a previous thing, but my department chair looked at me and she said, okay, you're going to drop some balls. You're going to drop some balls. Just make sure none of them are balls that are going to break. And I think that's an important thing to remember.
I like that metaphor.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, that, like, the most important things are what you're focusing the energy that you have to give on.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of it, sometimes you have to figure out how to cope when you're in some kind of recovery mode.
Well, I think that sort of lends itself to, you have to be able to identify. So I did all the 7 Habits training. I'm from 7 Habits, Stephen Covey. So you have to be able to identify your big rocks. What are the most important things to you?
Right.
And then if you know what those are, then all of the other stuff can just go away, so long as you're focusing your attention on what it is has to be done. Your have to be done's. Everything else you want to do's, could do's, should do's can just go away until you get through that. And I think that I was trying to say earlier with you, Beth, is that your absolute worst is still more than a lot of people's best.
Mm-hmm.
So I just, anyway.
I think my best growth period, and it sounds weird because at the time I was going through it, I didn't think it was a growth period. I thought it was stagnation and wallowing. Because I think, I've said when I first got divorced, I was so emotionally crippled. And then on top of that, I was financially crippled. And I think looking from the outside, people didn't realize that because I had been married to a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't know the details.
And they didn't know the details.
You didn't wear it on your shoulder.
If I had broken character, I would have been a puddle on the floor. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so I was just holding it together, literally doing 1 hour. Some days I did 1 hour at a time. That's how bad it was. And now I look back on it and I thought, I put my kids first. And then I put my financial obligations because they were, basically slapping me around.
But that's also part of your kids first.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they had to have a roof over their head.
Right.
And food. But other than that, I learned that it's okay to just breathe sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that's all you can do. You can just make it through 1 day at a time. And I do remember, and I'm writing this in part of my stuff. My constant prayer was, just keep me in the palm of your hand. I don't need anything exciting. I don't even need a miracle. I just need to be in the palm of your hand. Just to get through this day. Just to get through. And y'all, I think I had the biggest growth period as a person during that time. I look back on it as bittersweet, but I actually learned to give grace to myself. I've always been good at giving grace to others. Get a second chance, get a third chance with me.
Oh,
But I am terrible at getting grace to myself.
yeah,
Y'all, I was the person, if you had a baby,
yeah.
I would show up on your door with a pack of, like 2 packages of diapers. One is newborn, one's the next size, because that's when you can't go to the grocery store. When they change sizes and
Yeah.
diapers and they're a little squirmier. I would show up with that, a present, a home cooked meal from scratch. Y'all, now I'm like, I'll give them a pack of diapers and I'm going to go
You're
buy
okay.
and pick up
They'll
some
figure it
frozen
out.
casserole, and that's
Gift
good.
card, gift
You
card.
know, yeah. But I mean, sometimes you have to say,
Well,
I can't do all this.
Yeah.
I have great intentions,
And
but I can't follow through because some of those days are they weigh on you so much that really all you need to do is make sure you're fed, your kids are fed,
that you go to work.
and that you go to work, and then afterward,
Yeah,
a bubble bath.
Yeah.
Something for yourself.
yeah.
Some little 5-minute to 10-minute snatch just for yourself, and it kind of like unscrambles my brain and sets my little world, my little box right again.
Because every once in a while, you go through a moment where you just need to maintain. If you can just maintain,
Yeah.
you don't, there's no need to like, you can't fix the world every day. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like sometimes you have to, and I mean fix the world in terms of like your place in the world.
Right.
Your place in the world. So my place in the world is that I go to work, I'm an educator every day, and like, I'm the choir master at church on the weekend, like I'm a mom every day. So every day is not going to be your best day at those things. Like every day can't be, you're not going to win at it every day.
Right.
And that's
Sometimes
okay.
you can maintain at it. You can just be it and live in it. And yeah, because we have those life moments that I think where there are highs and lows, like whether it's something like we went through, like divorce or a death in the family,
Yeah, that's
or
a big one, yeah.
or something your kid is going through. Like there's just a lot of outside stuff that influences everything we do on the daily. And sometimes I think, I don't know if it's America or the workforce in general, that we're not cognizant of that enough. You know what I mean? I'm lucky that I work somewhere that feels bending, flexible in that way.
Yeah.
But I don't know that that's typical.
Well, I think that it also, if you have that frame of mind and can be in touch with everything you're going through, well, it'll save you from some types of burnout. So I think everything is kind of cyclical. So if you can't give 1,000,000% to every area of your life, you know that right now, if it has to be focused on work and can't be focused on home, that next month it may be the opposite.
Right.
That you can focus on home more than, but if you try and give it all and burn yourself out to the point that you can't function, neither one's going to get anything from you.
I said, we were talking about this pre-show. I'm going to call that our pre-show conversation, where my mom texted me to ask me to do something that family-wise yesterday, and it wasn't like a party or anything. It was just an event that they were going to, and that she asked me to go. And I told you guys this before, but she texted me and I just said, no, I don't want to. And I had never said something like that before to my mom, or like in
regard to a
family event. It made me feel bad, but I said, and I qualified it. I said, I don't want to. I'm at home today with Leah, with my child. I'm at home today with my child. I'm not going to have him very much in this next month, just because of the way the schedule fell. So I want to spend time with him, and then I'm about to get into really busy church season. So no, I don't want to. I want to be at home today. And there was no reaction, like nobody died or
and nobody got angry with
but
you.
no,
or
nothing
upset
nothing
with
bad
you,
happened.
Yeah.
Like everything was
It was
A-okay.
like, okay, cool, just wanted to give you the
So-
opportunity and move on.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't want to is an okay frame of mind too, because we don't always have to do things that we don't want to do. There may be things that we need to do sometimes, but need and want are very different things.
They
They
are.
are.
Yeah. One's about survival and one is not. I teach this in my acting class.
True, but I think also if you don't ever dip into the wants, it's hard to stay in survival mode all the time. You have to have something that feeds your soul, so you can continue to live in survival mode. If you're in that place, like, you know, when we've all been there where we were stuck. You had to have something, whether you were
had to have something to
stitching,
look forward to.
or you were being able to listen to musicals and play your piano in the house, or I was painting. You had to have something that sort of fed your soul for a moment. It didn't have to cost anything, so that you could move on and move through.
Yeah, I'm in between shows right now. This is not quite related to what we're talking about, but I'm in between shows right now, and my friend was talking to me. I watched the last episode of Mrs. Maisel, which, listeners, if you have not watched Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, it is excellent. Such a good show. I cried many tears at the final episode. But I thought, I don't want to be a stand-up comedian, but I could be writing. Like, writing sounds good, or writing something funny sounds good. And I was talking to my friend, and he said, yeah, I feel like I want to be doing something. I want to be creating something. And I think that's like, it comes from, I think I remember talking to you during COVID. I started painting, and I'm not an artist.
Yes.
And I was like, well, I guess I'll do this because I can't go to rehearsal for anything.
Yes, but you needed something to.
And I played the piano
create.
a lot.
Yes.
But anyway, that.
Yeah. Well, feeding your soul, especially with us all three being creatives.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even just something. You can't stay in that place, and sometimes you have to sacrifice things to feed your soul a little bit. You have to quit being a hero so you can feed your soul, so that you can continue on those times where you.
But
really
that's
do
how you
have
get out
to.
of the stuck spot. Like, we all have stuck spots, you know? And you have to, when you're stuck, you have to figure out how to change it up.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Look at us morphing into a different topic.
Well, but it goes back to, like, you can't, if you're not in a spot where you can't go, again, you can't change the world at work until you can change your world if your world is messed up.
That's true.
Or not even change the world at work, in the various aspects of your life.
True.
Whether it be your work, your kids, like anything you're doing. If you're not in the right spot.
Right. You got to figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're right. We get stuck in that place where we feel like we have to give 1,000,000% at everything.
But I think that we're trained to do that. I mean, I feel like I was trained to.
I think we talked about that at one point, about women being expected to do all of the things. And then there's that I saw that recently somewhere that said that the 40-hour work week was created for the nuclear family where the man went to work and the woman stayed home.
Yeah, there was always someone at home doing the homework.
Yeah.
Doing the work of the home, and then somebody else was getting the paycheck and benefits. And you know, if you think about it, if you've ever stayed at home, I was a stay-at-home mom for years. There is something to do. Quite a few things to do every day.
So it was
every week, every month.
never meant to
it's a
be
full-time job.
two full-time people and still get stuff done at home.
Can I say, so when I was married, and the place where I worked before I work now, it was my schedule's always wacky because I teach theater, so it happens at night or like in the afternoons usually. But we didn't have, it wasn't like a flexible schedule necessarily. So the house was a wreck all the time. Like, it was a wreck all the time. Well, I have a different job now, and also I'm single, and I know that it's
your responsibility.
house. Like, it's my responsibility. Mm-hmm. But also I have flexible hours because I teach online a little bit, so I get some virtual hours. So what happens with my work schedule is I wake up, and while I'm answering email or whatever, checking Blackboard, I'm also setting the dishwasher and making the bed done. And getting laundry. And that happens in the morning before I even go to my physical job, because that tends to happen later in the day. And that has been a big change. And that may not always be my schedule because it kind of looks different, but it has been helpful because I've gotten a little bit of both of that. And my house is not perfect. It's never perfect, but it's far more manageable now than it was before. So,
well, and that's I think thinking about. So Beth, I think you in particular, having been such a fabulous stay-at-home mom, and you did so many volunteer things and all of these things, having to take that mindset of who you are and meld it with the 40-hour-a-week person and try and get all of those things done both what you wanted, what you knew you could do when you didn't have a job, and all of the things you're doing when you're having a job, trying to do all of that. It's just hard. And I even having the kids at home, or when my kids are home, or even not, doing everything I do at work and then coming home and trying to do as much of the art and stuff that I want to do. It's just not enough time in a day
Yeah, something else
to be able
do.
to accomplish everything I feel like I should be able to accomplish, because unfortunately I need some rest time in the middle of that. I need to just exist so that I have the energy for the next day. It's hard.
It's hard to, well, you have to figure out what you're going to give up. That's what it comes down to.
Well, you have to
What
give
in
up
your
stuff.
house? In
That's
my case, it's what in my house do I have to give up? Because in my job, I have patients that count on me for all
Well, we
this stuff. I
can't-
can't really just
Jobs
not do
are
it.
not to say,
Right.
but like jobs. When you're talking about survival, like let's look at that from that aspect. Again, this goes back to not. You don't have to solve the world's problems every single day. When you're surviving, the most important things you can think about are roof over your head, food, right? That's pretty much it. You need those two things. Anything else?
And no, well, I mean the bills that keep the electricity on and all of, and transportation.
Yeah. Yeah, and how to
You know,
go,
having
how
to be able to
and
get to
fro.
the work. Yeah.
So automatically, the things that are going to aid in your survival are going to be the things that you need to pay attention to the most.
Yeah.
And so some of those other things that aren't directly related to that are going to end up falling by the wayside a little bit when you're in that mode.
Yeah, that's true.
But to some extent, when are we not in that mode? You know?
Yeah, well, I mean, because I think our jobs, that's top priority, because it's paying the bills.
Yeah.
It's keeping the food. You know what I mean? We have to get up and we have to go to work every single day, no matter what. It's that time after that job that we're trying to protect. That means that we're letting go of
it's
some of
like
those things that we feel like we might.
Bonnie.
Just remember the should do's?
Yeah.
We had that episode.
Yeah.
We're having to let go of the things we think we should do for the things that we need to do for ourselves.
But so part of the reason, because I have not found that financial balance yet. I mean, I'll be very
I will never
honest
find
about
that
it. I don't know if
financial
I'll find it.
balance, I
So
don't think.
survival is like my biggest thing. And I have 2 jobs. I have one full-time and a part-time job. And the only thing that has kept me from going and finding a third thing to do is the fact that I want to be cognizant of the time with my son. I want to be cognizant of the time with my partner. And then I want to be able to see friends and have alone time. Like that's important. And you can get to the point, like if it gets to the point that I can't make it, yeah, I'll go work myself to death if I need to.
Right.
But those things are important to nourish, or you go crazy.
Yeah.
You go crazy. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
You put yourself into depression.
yeah. Well, then what's the point? I mean, like, then you're literally just surviving.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah, you'd have to get to the place.
Yeah.
Like, I would like to make sure that I continue to have a job that allows me to go see my daughter.
Yeah.
To go see my son who's living in Florida. To, you know what I mean? To have those things, to go out to dinner with friends.
Right.
Yeah. Because you can't survive without living.
Right.
Like
and that's
that-
part of the
that's
living.
Point. Yeah. You have to live. Or that's the point of doing all these things to survive is to be able to
to do,
live.
to the living part.
And it doesn't mean being fancy. That's not what I mean. Like, it's literally like quality time. For instance, I may have a friend over to just sit on my porch and talk. I do that all the time. My porch is sort of like the other living room of my house. Or my boyfriend and I very rarely go out. We don't. When we have us time, we tend to have cocktails and sit on the couch and watch a show or just like have conversations. Like that's our when we have a moment like that, because it's just organic and less stressful, and so you don't have to plan this big event for it. Just, I think my sister posted something about, I can't remember if it was, I don't remember if it was like a meme or something that she just said that was, you don't have to have the fancy party to invite people over. Just have people over. I mean, like, just say, hey, it's Friday. or
Right.
Tuesday night, like just come over. Like it's the time with your people. It's not going to
And
be
your house doesn't
anything
have to be
else. No,
clean. Like
that's another. You
I
don't
started
got to be a
cleaning out
hero.
my
You don't got to be a
closet.
house hero.
No, yeah.
Like,
I cleaned out my closet, but I moved everything out of these chairs so y'all had a place to sit
And
today.
the truth is, not a one of my friends have ever walked into my house and gone, "Whoa, we got to do something about this, or we can't hang out tonight."
Right. Well,
Ever.
That's true. That's true.
So,
Well, it's
I don't
about
know.
relationships, I
Mhm.
think. In the end, it's all about relationships.
That is.
I'm not going to remember that I never, well, I may remember I never cleaned the house, but I'm not going to remember the times I cleaned the house either. I'm
Right.
really going to remember the times I spent with y'all recording. I'll remember the times with my kids. I'll remember the times, I'll remember the times with my people
mhm.
and the experiences, collecting experiences more than I'm going to remember completing a to-do list.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, and I try to remind myself too that, even if I busted at work and really, give more than 100%, they're going to eventually replace me. I mean,
Yeah,
what
we're all
I'm saying?
replaceable.
Listen, that's
Everybody's replaceable.
That's a really
and
important. Everybody's replaceable in every aspect.
Yes.
Not
you may
even-
leave your
yeah,
mark,
yeah.
but they're just going to get someone
Yeah.
new with a
Yeah.
new mark.
Yeah. So I try to not. I mean, I do my best at work. I do, but but more importantly, I try to do the best for my kids
Yeah.
because in the long run, they're the most important people. I try to do things with my friends. I try to keep up with my friends. I have a couple friends I don't get to see because they're very long distance, but I try to keep up with them. And I think giving it your best is a good thing. But if you don't take care of yourself, there's not going to be anything to give.
Mhm.
And I'm on the short bus on that one. Like, it has taken me years and years and years, and I'm still working on it.
Mhm.
Trying to do things that will make me feel rested and make me feel creative and like me. And to take care
So-
of myself.
Can I say, I think that related to that is keeping drama out of your life.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a big one.
That may be a whole other
Mm-hmm.
segment that we haven't even talked about, but like not participating in drama around me is
Mm-hmm.
everything.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh, yes.
That's a good one.
Have y'all found that
We'll
on
have
the
to-
other side of divorce, you have kind of eliminated some of the people in your life that may have been very drama driven?
I
Yeah.
have.
Yes,
Definitely.
or recognized when it's happening and just sort of separated myself from the situation.
Yes.
Mhm.
I think my radar for drama is a lot higher now,
'Cause
and I can turn around
I think,
just about face
You
and
know,
walk
and
away.
the truth is, we can love people, and we don't have to love everything they do or
Mhm.
are a part of. So
And you don't have to be a part of it.
no, and if you just choose to not be a part of it, it just makes you.
Mhm.
I am much happier as a result of that, and it's not. I don't think that I ever necessarily went around causing drama but I let it affect me
Mhm.
much less.
Yeah.
So
I think that's
Well,
important.
Peace and guarding our peace has
Yeah.
become, and guarding the peace for our children have
Yeah.
become, I think, have
Yes.
become top priorities for all three of us.
Yes, definitely.
Just when you've lost it, you understand how valuable it is.
Mm-hmm. Or if you didn't have it to begin with,
That's
you're like, wait a second.
Yes. Yeah.
is
Wow.
this?
This is, yes. And it's uncomfortable.
Sometimes
at
I feel like
first.
I haven't felt like this since I was a kid. Just content, that content, childhood feeling.
Yeah.
I feel that a lot now, and I.
Oh,
wanna
I
get it back.
understand. Well, and I have gotten to that place where I am very comfortable and happy with spending time with me. And I don't feel like I have felt like this maybe since college or high school even. Like, it's been a long time since I've been really happy with who I am and just having alone time with me
Yeah.
without feeling like I had to fill it with other people.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I love being with my friends and spending time with my friends, but I don't feel like I have to
Mm-hmm.
go out of my way to be someone I'm not anymore.
Yeah. Well, I was telling y'all pre-show, I'm booked for the weekend, so I'm really cognizant of the fact that the next 4 days, I don't it's me. It's just me.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, that's good.
I'm not going to be a hero
Good.
for anybody but me in
For
those
anybody,
days
well,
because
but
I'm
that's-
already got this stuff scheduled. So I know about myself, and I'm such an extrovert. Y'all know that about me. I'm such an extrovert, but I need a bit of me time just to like do the things, like
Mhm.
accomplish the house stuff or
Yeah,
think,
but I
just
think-
think and
I
imagine.
think in my 20s and 30s, I didn't know this. I really thought that I had an unlimited amount of energy to spend.
That's true.
And then I would you know what I mean? Like I really
It would
felt like
always be there.
every day was 48 hours long and I could get a million things done and I could get it done tomorrow. It really, and I don't know what it is about the trauma of divorce and being as much older as I am, but truly it just kind of changed my whole perspective on the very limited amount of time I do have and how precious it is and that peace and the way I choose to spend it and who I choose to spend it on matters. So
Maybe it's because so much of our time was being sucked up by terrible experiences.
In my energy,
Yeah.
a lot of energy.
That now-
and that survival mode just
Yeah.
sucks you dry.
It does.
And-
And on the defensive. I think all three of us
Yeah.
had to spend years on the defensive, not feeling safe in our homes.
Yes.
Yes.
And so
Not physically. I don't think any of us didn't feel physically
No,
safe, but
yeah.
we did not feel emotionally safe,
Safe, right.
and that is so draining.
And now that I don't have that anymore, and not to sound like a Pollyanna, but I almost don't allow, if an experience seems like it's going to be negative, I'm like, nah. I just kind of
I do that
push it
too.
out. I really
I
only allow
I
positive
won't-
experiences.
My daughter makes fun of me because she'll say, "Hey, do you want to watch this movie?" And I'm like, "Will it make me cry?" Because if it will make me cry, I'm not interested. Like I'm just that
Yeah.
far on that. I am so not about to like watch something to allow willingly cry over some people I have no idea they are. I've got enough of that in my real life. I'm done.
Mhm.
Like I'm not gonna watch things that are gonna make me cry. I'm that
I don't
far
know
down
if it's
that
a great
rabbit hole.
if it's a great story or
Yeah, no.
good acting or whatever, I'm gonna
No,
watch
terms
it.
of endearment totally schooled me on that.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
good.
that's-
It can be a good story, and I do not have to participate if it's going to make me cry. Just saying. I am no longer in on the dramatic good stories that'll make me cry.
Well, I
They
think,
all change,
I
but
think
today,
having gone through our experiences, we've learned a lot about ourselves and about our tolerance and our limitations. And, I hate to say this, but I think the divorce is really good for me in redefining how I think about myself and how I want to spend my time. And yes, at some point I do want to put my superhero cape back on, but not yet. Not yet. It was a pretty good one.
It's really good. It's like
Really
embroidered and
good.
whatnot.
why don't you just start stitching your new one?
There you go.
It'll
Yeah.
take you a
What was her
little while
name?
to do that.
What was her name that made the capes, the suits on The Incredible?
No, she said
Oh.
no
Uh,
capes.
No capes.
She said no capes.
Yeah.
No capes.
Edna?
Edna.
Yes, Edna. She said no capes. They get sucked up into engines and all sorts of things.
No
there
capes.
should be no capes.
No capes.
Edna. See?
That's so
You know
funny.
what? You're gonna have to wear a superhero tiara or other
Oh,
types
baby,
of bling.
if I lose 30 pounds, I'm gonna be wearing a cat suit. What are you talking about?
I believe that's a super villain technically, not a superhero. But whatever.
Not from the villain's point of
There's
view.
a fine line.
That's
There's
true.
a fine line right there.
There's a fine. Okay.
I don't disagree, Beth.
Y'all are funny. Well, that's true. I love all that.
So, Lauren, you have your weekend planned to
Yes.
live the life you love.
Yes, I have several events this weekend. So
Actually, she may be living the life she loves before the weekend.
Exactly.
yeah,
While you're taking the time to yourself.
I don't really have any. I'm gonna sit pretty still this week before the weekend because I have some things, and then it's Thanksgiving week, and there's nothing like pressing at work. generally. So like I'll have some time to organize. And lately in my like downtime, I've just been organizing a lot,
That's good.
and it has made me feel very productive. And yeah, just I'm trying to get down to like absolutely baseline. What do I need?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't
Yeah.
really want. There's just a lot that I have that I don't want.
I'm working on that too.
I'm working on that too. Although mine is much slower than y'all's, but I am working on it. So
Let's
get that.
Okay, I'm gonna go next. Guess what? My daughter
Mm-hmm.
is flying home on Saturday.
Yay.
I get to go pick her up at the airport. I am so excited. I have not seen her in a hot minute.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I have not seen her. Yeah, I guess a month.
A
I
month.
see her once last month, but it feels like forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I cannot wait to go. I cannot wait to see her. So I'm excited about that. And because it's Thanksgiving, my oldest son will be home too. So I
Wow,
have
yeah.
all
Everybody.
of my
Everybody's
kids here.
All the babies under
So
one
excited.
roof.
Yes, love
That's
it
fun.
when I get to have all my little
Well,
chicks in one
Are you
room.
having Thanksgiving here? Or are you
I
doing
think I am.
Okay.
I'm not sure. So my my oldest is engaged, and his fiance's family lives here too. So if we have Thanksgiving here at my house, it means that he can probably make both.
That's good.
And so I'd really rather do that so that we can see everybody and nobody's
Mhm.
rushed to get anywhere. So
That's nice.
that's probably what's going to happen.
Well, this weekend at some point, my son is coming home. So I will have
Yay.
both my babies
Yay!
under my same roof, and it's my favorite meal to cook for Thanksgiving. So
Isn't it
I
also
am-
your favorite football game?
not this weekend,
Okay.
yeah, eventually
Okay.
after
Can
Thanksgiving.
we do a fun little thing? What's your signature Thanksgiving dish that you were like at? That your chef's kiss at?
Oh.
That nobody makes it better than you? I'll tell you what mine is.
You
share.
go ahead.
Go ahead. What's yours? Yours
I
is
make
hot.
the best pecan pie.
Yes.
The best pecan pie. It is so good. It's family recipe. So I guess also my aunt and my grandmother make the best pecan pie.
But have you not perfected it?
I mean, mine is very good. I know exactly what to do. It's delicious.
Nice.
I'll make an extra. We can sample it.
Okay, we'll have to.
What's
So-
yours?
I'm sorry.
She does the
Can't
whole
choose?
thing.
I do
steward
the
over
whole thing, and my bird is great. It's fabulous. I do my grandmother Burns cornbread dressing recipe, and it is to die for. I do homemade cranberry relish.
You do?
Yeah, with a little pecan.
I'm telling you,
little
she is
pecans
a chef.
and an orange. It's
Oh.
really good. Little bit of alcohol in it. It's really nice. And then I just do all kinds of stuff. Last year at the lake we did this great salad with cubed and roasted vegetables, and then it had all kinds of crazy stuff in the dressing, and I might do that again. I'm not sure. It was easy and light and that kind of thing. So I do my some years I do my grandfather's favorite coconut cake, and some years I do my grandmother's chest pie.
Mm.
I just experiment, but my kids love it. So we'll see.
Well, so I'm always assigned the sweet potato casserole because it was my father-in-law's mother's recipe, and apparently he loved the way I did it, and he loved the way I did it because I like quadrupled the sugar in it.
There you go.
But what I think is, so I do my grandmother's pound cake
Mm-hmm.
with a praline icing.
Oh,
And then I make pralines on the side. So my daughter always has Friendsgiving over here, which I love. But they request, okay, as long as Miss Bonnie's doing the pralines, you know, and that sort of thing.
Nice.
So I mean, I don't have any sort of fabulous dish, but I do love making my grandmother's pound cake in all of the fun molds. I can have one that's like a gingerbread mold, like
Oh,
it looks
yeah.
like a gingerbread house. You put the powdered sugar on it, so it looks like it snowed. You know, that kind of thing. But yeah, so I don't have anything major. I'm really more of a baker. Like I can make
Me too.
fabulous cake
No,
and have fabulous icing.
I'm
and I
really
can
good
totally do all
at
of that
those
sort
things
of
that
stuff.
are more algebraic.
Yes.
I am really not good at physics.
Now I cannot
Meat,
do it.
I'm not good at meat and steaks and things like that, but if it's algebra,
Well,
I got it.
Except I cannot do a pretzel salad.
Okay.
The pretzels will be soggy every single time. I also can't do divinity for some reason. I don't know if I'm just impatient or what, but it's just goo. Like I can't seem to get past the goo stage. But I can make a fabulous cake. and a fabulous icing and that sort of thing, or a cookie. I can do all of that. That's fun. But since you can't have all sweets at Thanksgiving, whatever.
Why not?
Yeah, I know, right? Because I'm not in charge. It's my mother. So. Oh, but I do at Christmas time. I do have all the kids decide. They choose one dish that they want me to make for them for one meal. It's one of my divorce things.
Oh yeah.
But it's always something crazy. Like one will say, "I want fried okra," and I want spaghetti, and the other one want like nothing goes together. But it's whatever. But anyway, that's another day, another topic.
All right,
Okay.
ladies, we don't have to be heroes every day,
No,
but we're going to be our own heroes and Thanksgiving
That's
heroes
good.
with our
Yes.
signature dishes. All right,
There you go.
love y'all.
and
Love you
thankful
too.
for y'all.
Thankful
Very
for y'all
thankful for y'all.
Thank y'all for joining us for Champagne Sunday.
too. See you next week,
See you
girls.
next week. Yeah, cheers.
Have a good week.
Cheers.
Yes.
Cheers.